Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe pouring your heart out or, sharing what you think is a brilliant idea, only to look up and see just blank stares?
Oh, absolutely. Or worse, they think they understand, but they've got it completely wrong.
Exactly. It's like your words just hit a wall and bounced right off. That feeling where you're so clear in your own head, but what comes out is just muddled. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it?
It really is. And it can make you doubt yourself, maybe even hold back next time you have something important to say.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into the art, and I think the often overlooked science of being truly articulate. And we're going way beyond just, using big words. Our mission here is to explore how you can express your thoughts with real clarity, confidence, and genuine impact. So your message doesn't just land, it actually sticks.
What's fascinating here is just how critical this skill really is. I mean, communication is quite literally the backbone of everything, every relationship you build, every job interview, every opportunity you chase. When you struggle to articulate clearly, it's almost like you're leaving a huge chunk of your potential just sitting there, untapped. Mastering this isn't just about sounding smart. It's about unlocking your ability to connect, to influence, to actually lead.
Absolutely. And the really great news, which comes through loud and clear from all the research we looked at for this, is that articulation isn't some kind of magic talent only a few people are born with. It's a skill, plain and simple. And like any skill, riding a bike, playing guitar, whatever, can be learned, practiced, and you can get better over time. Our goal today is to give you some practical strategies to do just that, to help you move from those moments of feeling completely misunderstood to speaking with real purpose and clarity.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, let's kick things off by maybe clearing up some common misconceptions. Because I think a lot of people think articulation means sounding like a professor or using complicated jargon all the time.
Right. And often that actually does the opposite of what you want. It can push people away or just confuse them. True articulation, really, is about expressing your thoughts clearly in a way that's easy for others to grasp and doing it with confidence. Think of it like this. If your idea is a picture,
Okay.
articulation is the frame. The right frame makes that picture stand out, draws attention to the important parts, and makes sure the message hits home.
That's a great analogy. And thinking about what stops people, one of the big ones has to be overthinking. Right? We get so stuck in our heads worrying about how we sound
Mhm.
or what the other person is thinking that our brains just kind of short circuit and the words don't come out right. It's like cognitive overload.
Exactly. And the research backs this up. The key is trying to relax your focus on the mechanics, on how you're speaking, and shift it to the actual message you want to get across. Focus on the what, not the how.
Okay, so focus on the message. But what if you feel like you just don't have the right words? That feeling of a limited vocabulary.
Yeah, that's definitely linked. It feels like trying to paint this detailed picture, but you've only got like 3 basic colors. It's limiting. But the good news here, as you mentioned earlier, is vocabulary isn't fixed. It's something you can actively build and improve. It's not about knowing every word, but having the right ones handy to express nuance.
Which brings us back to that core idea. Articulation is a skill. It takes work, yeah? Practice, patience, being willing to learn.
Definitely. But the payoff is huge. Being able to communicate clearly and confidently, that can genuinely open doors for you in ways you might not even expect.
Okay, so we've sort of defined what we're aiming for. The next logical step then is building up that communication toolkit. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We need to talk about the power of the words themselves, but also, just as important, how you organize your thoughts before they even come out of your mouth.
Right. A strong vocabulary is like having a well-stocked toolbox. More tools give you more options for being precise and expressive. Now, reading widely helps, of course, but some studies suggest that for actually retaining new words, it's not just reading, it's how you engage with them.
How so?
Well, instead of just passively reading, try actively noting down a new word, looking it up, and then this is the key part. Try using it in maybe 3 different sentences or contexts within the next 24 hours.
So you're actively trying to make it stick, not just recognizing it.
Exactly. You're building the neural pathways for actually using the word. And your point about root words is excellent too. Understanding bio means life helps unlock biology, biography, antibiotic.
It's like a little cheat code. And yet the thesaurus is useful, but you have to be careful not to just swap in a big word that sounds unnatural, right? The goal is clarity, not just sounding fancy.
Precisely. Start small. Maybe aim to consciously use one new word you've learned in a casual chat this week. See how it feels.
Okay, so vocabulary is one tool. What about organizing thoughts? Because clear communication has to start with clear thinking, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That mental fog or feeling like your thoughts are all jumbled up just before you speak, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. I definitely messed up a point in a meeting once because I just hadn't taken like 2 seconds to structure it in my head. It felt like trying to explain something while juggling.
Yeah.
How does organizing help with that?
Well, one really simple thing is creating a quick mental outline. It doesn't have to be formal, just, bullet points in your head or scribbled on a notepad. If you need to give an update, just think. Okay, what are the 2 or 3 key things I absolutely need to cover? That simple step massively reduces the cognitive load, both for you and for your listener.
Right, because if you're structured, they don't have to work so hard to follow you.
Exactly. Their brain can focus on absorbing your message, not trying to piece together your rambling thoughts. And another fantastic technique, especially for thinking on your feet, is the PREP method. Point, reason, example, point.
Okay, PRP. That sounds neat. Can you break it down?
Sure. So first, you state your main point clearly, just to get it out there.
Okay.
Then, you give the reason. Why is this point important? Why do you believe it?
Got it. Point, reason.
Next comes an example. A concrete illustration makes it real, helps people connect with it, makes it memorable.
Example. Okay.
And finally, you quickly restate your point. Just wrap it up, reinforce the main message.
PREP. Point, reason, example, point. I can see how that would be useful in like a Q&A or an interview.
Hugely useful. It gives you structure under pressure and helps you make a clear, strong case quickly.
And it probably stops you from rambling too, which I know I can definitely be guilty of sometimes.
It's the ultimate anti-ramble tool.
Sure.
When thoughts are disorganized, we tend to go off on tangents, add too many details. It just confuses people, and frankly, it can make you sound less sure of yourself. PRP, or even just that quick mental outline, forces you to be concise and stick to what really matters.
So what does this all mean for you, listening right now? It means taking that tiny pause, that moment, to just quickly structure your thoughts before you launch in isn't just about being clearer. It actually builds your confidence.
It's a feedback loop. Organize, speak more clearly, feel more confident. Organize better next time. It shifts you from just reacting to actually communicating deliberately.
Okay, so we've talked about the words and the structure. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the human connection side of things, which, maybe surprisingly, starts with listening.
Yes, it really does. Being a genuinely good listener actually makes you a much better speaker.
How so?
Well, when you truly listen, really listen, not just wait for your turn to talk, you understand the other person's perspective more deeply. You get the nuances. And that allows you to respond in a way that's much more thoughtful and relevant.
So active listening. Putting the phone down, tuning out the mental chatter.
Exactly. And it's harder than it sounds these days, but you can practice it. Asking clarifying questions is a great technique. It shows you're engaged and ensures you've got it right. Another really powerful tool is paraphrasing. Repeating back what they said, but in your own words. Like, okay, so if I understand correctly, you're feeling overwhelmed by the deadline.
So they feel heard and you confirm you're on the same page. That builds rapport, doesn't it?
Huge rapport builder. And it's not just verbal, your nonverbals are crucial when listening too.
Like eye contact.
Definitely eye contact, nodding subtly, using facial expressions that match the speaker's tone. It all signals, I'm here with you, I'm paying attention. There's even some neuroscience suggesting eye contact triggers mirror neurons, fostering subconscious trust.
Wow. So these small things make people feel really seen.
They really do. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, being a better listener directly helps you adapt your message to your audience.
Because you actually understand them better.
Precisely. You need to gauge their background, their interests, their level of knowledge before you start talking. Are you explaining a technical concept to engineers or to the marketing team? You'd use totally different language, right?
You wouldn't use jargon with the marketing team, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's about empathy then, putting yourself in their shoes.
That's exactly it. Think. What do they care about? What questions might they have? Address their needs, their perspective, and your message becomes instantly more relatable and impactful. You're not changing your core idea, just the lens you present it through.
Okay, that makes sense. And speaking of nonverbals, let's bring body language back in. Because it's not just listening cues, it's how you project yourself when you're the one talking.
Absolutely critical. Your body language can shout louder than your words sometimes. It can either boost your message or completely undermine it.
So things like eye contact again, but from the speaker side.
Yes, making good eye contact with your listeners shows confidence and builds connection. Avoiding it can make you seem unsure or even dishonest. Gestures, too. Using your hands naturally can help emphasize points, make you seem more dynamic, but, don't overdo it with distracting flapping.
Uh-huh, right. Natural emphasis.
And posture, huge. Standing or sitting tall projects confidence, authority. Slouching does the opposite. Simple things, shoulders back, head up, make a surprising difference in perception.
So it's the whole package, isn't it? Listening well, understanding your audience, using open and confident body language. It all works together.
Exactly. It moves you from just transmitting information to actually building trust and real engagement. That's the difference between just talking and being truly articulate.
Okay, let's tackle what might be the biggest piece for many people, mastering the actual delivery. Because you can have brilliant ideas, perfectly organized thoughts, but if the delivery lacks confidence,
It can fall flat. Confidence really is that kind of secret sauce. It makes your communication more powerful, more convincing. People are just naturally drawn to listen to and trust someone who speaks confidently. And the crucial insight here from, psychology and observation is that confidence isn't something you're just born with or without. It's absolutely a skill you can build.
okay, so for someone listening who feels like confidence isn't their strong suit, where do they even begin? What are the first steps?
Practice. Consistent, regular practice. The more you speak, even in low-stakes situations, the more comfortable it becomes. Practice in the mirror, record yourself on your phone, maybe rehearse key points with a friend you trust.
What about things like Toastmasters?
Great example. Public speaking groups offer a supportive space to practice and get feedback. Another really powerful tool, often underestimated, is visualization.
Visualizing success.
Exactly. Before a big presentation or meeting, take a few minutes. Close your eyes. Really vividly imagine yourself speaking clearly, confidently, connecting with the audience, getting positive reactions. It sounds simple, but it genuinely helps calm nerves and primes your brain.
That's fascinating. And part of that confidence is probably also just accepting that you won't be perfect, right? Embracing imperfection.
Oh, 100%. Mistakes are going to happen. You'll stumble over a word, lose your train of thought for a second. It's part of learning anything. The key is not to see mistakes as defining you, but as feedback. Okay, that didn't quite land. What can I try differently next time? True confidence isn't about being flawless. It's about trusting your ability to communicate effectively, even with the occasional hiccup.
Speaking of hiccups, those little filler words, the ums, the us, the likes, they creep in, and they can really make you sound hesitant, can't they?
They definitely can. They clutter your speech and, make you sound less certain, but you can reduce them with awareness. One of the best techniques is the power of the pause. Instead of filling silence with, just pause, take a breath, gather your thought. It might feel awkward to you at first, but to the listener, it sounds thoughtful and deliberate.
So instead of, I think we should try this, I think we should pause. Try this.
Precisely. It sounds much more authoritative. Another great tool is recording yourself. Listen back, cringe factor aside, and notice when you use fillers. Are you nervous? Searching for a word. Just buying time. Knowing your pattern is the first step to breaking it.
And maybe slowing down helps too.
Absolutely. Rushing often leads to fillers because your mouth outpaces your brain. Slowing down just a little gives you that crucial processing time, improves clarity, and naturally reduces the need for those verbal crutches.
Okay, practical tips. Love it. And underlying a lot of this is just plain old nervousness. That feeling everyone gets.
Everyone gets it, and it doesn't have to control you. Deep breathing is a fantastic tool. Simple box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, physiologically calms your nervous system.
Okay, breathing helps. What else?
Preparation is key. Knowing your material inside out drastically reduces the fear of forgetting things or getting lost. The more prepared you are, the less room there is for anxiety to take hold. And finally, try reframing your mindset, that fluttery feeling, the racing heart. Instead of labeling it nervousness or fear, try calling it excitement.
Channeling the energy.
Exactly. The physical sensations are very similar. Tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm excited to share this. It shifts your perspective and turns that energy into something you can use positively.
Wow, so it's really a combination practice, self-awareness, specific techniques like pausing and breathing, and that mindset shift.
Yes, and it's cumulative. Each small effort builds on the last. It takes patience, for sure, but these techniques genuinely lead to noticeable improvements in how confidently and clearly you communicate.
Which brings us to thinking about this whole process long term.
Right, and this raises an important question, I think. What does this journey mean for your continuous growth, both personally and professionally? Because becoming truly articulate isn't like reaching a final destination. It's an ongoing journey.
Always room for improvement.
Always. The best communicators are lifelong learners. They never assume they've got it all figured out.
So for you listening, what are some practical ways to keep improving on this journey, to keep refining that skill?
Well, first, actively seek feedback. Ask people you trust, friends, colleagues, maybe a mentor for honest thoughts on your communication. What do you do well? Where could you improve? Getting that outside perspective is invaluable for spotting blind spots.
Okay, feedback. What else?
Second, become an observer of skilled communicators. Watch people you admire, maybe a great presenter, a colleague who runs meetings well, even a news anchor. Pay attention to how they structure things, their body language, their vocal tone, how they engage people. You can learn so much just by consciously observing.
Learning from the best.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And finally, just stay curious. Keep reading. Keep listening to podcasts like this one. Keep exploring new topics. The more you know, the more perspectives you encounter, the richer and more engaging your own conversations will become. Knowledge really fuels communication.
That's such a key takeaway, isn't it? Articulation is a skill, something you build, not just a talent you have or don't have. Anyone can get better with practice in these kinds of strategies.
Absolutely anyone. It's a transformative process, and it really does unlock so much potential in all areas of your life.
What a fantastic deep dive. It's so clear how mastering this can really change things, your relationships, your career trajectory, just your ability to connect with people. It's so much more than just talking clearly.
It really is about connection and impact. And
Yeah.
maybe, to leave you with a final thought, think about the next conversation you have coming up. What's one small, actionable thing from our chat today that you could try? Maybe it's consciously using a pause instead of an or taking literally 2 seconds to mentally prep your main point before you jump in, or even just reflecting afterwards. Did I feel understood? If not, what tool could I use next time to shift that outcome?
That's a great challenge, something concrete to focus on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep reflecting, and keep speaking smart.